Hey everybody, welcome back to No Stone Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here watching some jobless reincarnation. We got some comments here today, so let's see what people got to say. We got Evely from Family Squabble saying, just in case, Paul's expectation that Rudy should have read his message is correct. Adventurers do normally read those. The problem is that because of Rudyard's reputation, smuggling operation, and Rudy being kidnapped by beast people, they got into town in a very weird way and skipped those.
Well, I mean, there's also kind of the element that they've cheated their way into the adventuring stuff. Because remember, they were originally going
Oh
to
yeah.
abuse the fact that they had blackmailed those kids that were stealing pets and then selling them back as ransom.
Right, so they use that to like boost their stuff up so they don't have to do the boring things.
Well, yeah, because those guys were higher ranked, which meant that those guys were going to be taking the jobs, and then they were just going to be doing the jobs as them or something like that. The point being is that they were cheating their way around the system and not actively going to the adventuring guild because of it.
Specifically to get the money to make it back.
Yeah. Well, also, this is during his phase of I'm going to improve our reputation because this is like a fucking game, and I'm good at the reputation management skills in games. It's before they go into the forest and witness people fucking dying because he's
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
it like a game. It's before he learned that lesson. And then after that is where this comment takes up, where they're doing all this weird shit and entering the town in weird ways.
Yeah, I think they'd like take 5 months at that point just to get through that whole little period. So like by the time they're at the middle continent, 5 months pass and they still haven't read any messages because they haven't gone anywhere. They're waiting out like a whole rainy season too.
Plus, he was also, a prisoner, so
Also, yes, can't blame him with
I think
that.
most of that time spent was him as a prisoner. 'Cause he's like, another
Mhm.
day, another day, another day, another day. Hey, here's this guy named Geese. He's gonna naked back massage me because he's not a pervert.
Definitely not the human god or anything. We swear. Uh, so uh, just kind of like as a late thought in my head, Rudy is actually like making that much money completely securely in a short period of time to literally get a boat ride halfway across the world is actually kind of impressive compared to like, what I guess you could expect him to be, like just dead in the desert,
Well, I
right?
mean, he didn't really though.
He's given the impression that he's had fun because he found two friends, he likes them, and he likes adventuring. But I mean, what he did is still like
No, I'm
impressive. I
saying
don't
he
think
didn't. He didn't do that.
didn't what.
He didn't make that much money.
Oh right, he sorry.
Remember, they
I
needed
forgot he
all
didn't
that.
actually.
They needed
He
all that
almost
extra
did,
money
but then he
because
did fall through
Rougeard
that.
was a spurred, and they had like whole things about not taking spurs on boats, except for
Mhm.
here if you give me all this extra money. And then they had to go with that shipping crew, not shipping crew, not
Smugglers.
smuggler. I'm saying pirates for some reason. That
Yeah.
pirating crew because they were willing to take him on board if they did a job. So he failed to make the money. He he wasn't. He might be impressive for other reasons, but he wasn't impressive at his money making skills. He failed completely. Remember, he was gonna nuke
If
a
the price
city.
didn't escalate on him suddenly, it would have
He was
worked.
gonna nuke a city. He was so bad at it because some other guy who was better at blackmailing people and making money found out and was gonna blackmail him. You remember Roxy's friend, Horseface McGee.
The one I want to keep in mind right now is Sylphie, who also has been teleported around. Technically, might be as powerful as a person as our main character
As
is.
powerful as a person is my new favorite descriptor of a person. You know who's as powerful as a person? Thorfinn.
Yeah.
As
Uh,
powerful as a
I
person
I
can
actually
be.
have high hopes for Sylphie here. I think she could probably get out of a lot of situations and even make it back on home on her own. I want to see what happened to her. I think it will be very fun.
I mean, minor spoilers, but I think we already seen her, so.
Have we?
Yeah, in the trailer for season 2, which caused us to watch the show.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously she comes back later. The question is, how does she get there? That's what I want to know.
See, I'm less questioning about the people that we saw in the trailer versus
Hmm.
the people we haven't, but we've experienced. Like, I don't remember Chris Lane being in the fucking trailer, and we still haven't figured out where the hell happened to her.
Gone forever, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I would appreciate it if like she did like get teleported into the fucking ground and died, and the show just never fucking tells us because nobody. How would anybody else know? I appreciate it if the show didn't tell us something somebody else couldn't know, right?
Right, we are sticking to like a perspective that is very narrow to like rudeus and specific characters, so probably not going to get special info like that.
Well, no, I mean very specifically, like the camera isn't gonna pan down through the layers of dirt and show us her dead body. Like, we'll only know the stuff a person could know, right?
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna come out to us to explain what the air is like on some planet no one's been to, right? It's always gonna be ground level intelligence because that's what the show is like. I guess Human God could tell us, but I wouldn't like.
He doesn't seem to be a spoiler kind of guy.
Well, no, he does. Remember, he's I can tell you how to find your mom and all that shit.
Right, but he doesn't tell him how he gets there. Just go do this.
Yeah, well,
no spoilers.
I mean, he's still indicating he has knowledge beyond the means of others, which could then be the end to give us that information. But I don't know. I guess that is the cheatsy way to do it. Because we'd at least know, oh, he's a fucking god. That's how he knows.
Yeah. Next comment here from Guy Valentine from Route Selection.
From Patreon.
From the Patreon. The force field nullifies magic instantly. That's why Rudy's flame went out before he could do anything. He is completely stuck down there, as we found out last time. Also, in the light novel, when Rudy landed with Aisha, he broke both his legs and had to heal them as Aisha was traumatized, crying, and pissing herself. Rudy had to calm her down and clean her, and noted to himself that it was weird that he wasn't getting turned on by his underwearless sister. Not realizing that he's grown past seeing family as romantic interest, I really wish they didn't skip that at all.
Correction. They said, I really wish they didn't skip all of that.
Oh, okay.
That has slightly different context than the way the sentence preceding it reads, if you mess around with the words.
I do think it would have been funny to follow through on our comments when we were watching, which is, oh, yeah, shouldn't he have broken his legs?
Well,
but
last episode.
I can skip everything else there.
Well, I mean, because you remember Aisha also says, oh, my mom tells me I'm going to be voluptuous and, appealing to men and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So it would have been really important to know his inner monologue in that moment that he already isn't attracted to her because she's a family member.
Mm-hmm. Because
it doesn't play that way with lacking that information. I mean, also, I think I commented directly on the Patreon to this comment that the way it's been played out so far, like when he hugs Paul and starts crying, and it's like he's treating Paul as his actual dad and not some guy he's been pretending is his dad, that he already considers these people family. So, I haven't actually been thinking about him and not thinking about their family. So if there was a part in the light novel or the manga or whatever where he was like, "This is my family," I don't treat them that way or not, that I wouldn't have thought otherwise. But then again, I had the scene where Aisha's like, "My mother says I'm gonna be voluptuous," and it's like he doesn't say anything about it and actively looks at her butt. Like, I'm assuming that when the camera zoomed in on her butt, and she's like, I'm going to be this way, and the camera zooming in is him looking, which is telling a different story.
That was for the viewers, but
so the viewers want to see an adolescent kid's butt, is what you're saying.
Yeah. My interpretation of last time was that Rudeus is interested in having a little sister and not trying to sexualize her. I think they eventually get around to doing that, just like an episode after that comment.
I very much pointed out during the moment that it was Lilia was the one talking to him at the time, and she's blushing when her daughter says this shit, and it's like she put her up to say it, and it very much felt weird and out of place at the time. I said that as it was happening, because it's not the expected experience from these characters as I know them so far.
Right. So let's go ahead and talk about what happened last time
Well,
real
but
quick while
first,
we're on that
Grift,
thought.
as I always have to interrupt you as you try to move on to something else.
All right. Well, what do you got here today
Well,
for
I've
us?
dropped a link in the chat there for you.
Oh, it's a concept board.
Because I'm fucking addicted to these things now.
There you go. So we're gonna sign in as a guest, and we're gonna see what Theta has worked up here.
Yes, I have taken all the characters I can remember that we've met in the show. Don't mind the height differences in sizes, they fucking mean nothing. All of these images are different sized. I
Very
tried to.
horizontal setup here.
Well, I tried to arrange it by age, right? So you have all the kids or kid age people on the very bottom, except for Roxy. I understand that she might be a fucking adult in age, but she's like, looks like a kid, and she's given all the same kid stuff to do. So I've included her on the kid row. And above that, we have a parents or adult age people. So, you know, like Aisha's, or, Eris's dad, Paul. Sorry, Philip, I'm getting the names all messed up. Philip is Eris's dad. Paul is Rudeus's dad, etc. Of course, we always have the same thing. Blue lines mean family. Green lines mean ally. Red means enemy or person who killed person.
Naturally, it's just very dense, explicitly just around the main character. Who would have guessed that one?
And of course, above that, we have parents of parents, like Soros,
He
Gustav, or elders of villages, which means that they're older than the parents. In the case of Ruckus, who is the elder of the village that Rowan and Ricari are. And then above them, we have gods or English people, like the Demon King, Kishrikya, or whatever you say the name.
Leo, the sacred animal.
Sacred animal. Couldn't figure out if that meant anything or not. Could be the age of a dog. Could be a god dog. So I put him on the same row as Kashika here. And of course, I tried to use the arrows to indicate directional animosity or allyship, like I'm trying to do with the Gundam concept board.
Of course.
But of course, this is a lot more, you know, as you've pointed out, in depth. So you like got Pax over here, who's clearly an enemy of Ginger's, but also an enemy of Rudeus.
It did throw me for a loop, like trying to read and interpret that big red line of basically every one of Rudeus's enemies, and I can only imagine each of them coming back in the future as a group and going, it's like, yeah, we're gonna get that kid.
Well,
It's gonna be our horseman Nokapara, it's gonna be Gallus Cleaner, and it's gonna be Pax Sharon, the little terrible kid. And they are all going to get together as a team to try to beat up Rudeus.
well, like I said, it's directional. So if you follow the arrow from Pax, it only goes up towards Ginger, and then up towards Rudeus, and it doesn't go forwards past this. Whereas the same point, like Cleaner or Gallius Cleaner, his arrow goes down and joins in the horse dude's arrow going this way, because they both share animosity towards Eris, and they both share animosity towards Rudeus, and that's when their arrows stop, because you can see it doesn't go further than that. It's my little note-keeping method there. But also, I mean, you said, what's his name? Nico Para would go after, sorry, highlights it there, would go after Rudeus, but you remember, he's also an ally of Roxy, who's also an ally of Rudeus.
That won't stop a what's it called where everyone has it wrong and it's a comedy of errors, I guess maybe. Won't stop that.
I guess also the point that when I said Roxy is far older than she appears, I also wasn't sure what to do with the elf and the dwarf, because I put them on the adult par. They could have easily just as been on the elder par too.
They are associates and peers. They aren't elders, I guess.
And of course, trying to connect them to Paul that going across the map here.
Oh, the Paul line. That's right.
Well, they're friends of Paul, apparently. So, and of course, had to tie the fact that Roxy is in a party with them together. That's why it goes with a dot and goes up that way.
Yeah, honestly, actually, the thing that I'm surprised about just like how complicated Paul's circle is here too, right? Like Rudeus, it's expected, but like Paul has been busy and associates with like a wide number of people in
Well,
the
yeah,
show here.
everyone Rudeus knows before the teleportation was somebody that Paul introduced them to.
Right, right.
I guess technically I should have connected Paul to Philip, but I'm not sure. I try to keep the familial connections direct.
Yeah.
But we obviously haven't seen that Philip is an ally of Paul's yet. Got him the job, but I don't know. Technically, I guess it was Ghislaine that got the job.
They got a lot of extra detail to go over Paul's side of the family here, I think. They hinted at it, they haven't talked about much, but we'll get to it. But I think this like shows off like a lot of like the groups that we've spent like different episodes in. And I guess the question, of course, is going to be like, I wonder which of these groups will come back and when. We've already had like the Paul group come back. The Noble group is going to be coming back at some point. The animal people probably have to. The Beast Tribe.
The kids that
I don't think
died in the
Roxy
city.
Village is going to come back.
You never know.
Oh, and the Adventure Squads. Yeah, the ones that like they all associated with.
Well,
I feel like
kind
that
of.
has to be tapped.
I mean, kind of. Like, this is the group I think that one of them died in the forest.
Yeah, that's right. They killed the bird. Got the bird.
These
killed.
were the pet kidnappers.
Yup. Yeah, and Ruger is the one who killed Roman.
Yep, according to the line. Yep. Only one I don't have connected to anybody is our dude from the Flying Sky Castle. Alminfi, or whatever you say his name.
Mm-hmm. Right, where he's connected to a bunch of heroes that we haven't been introduced to.
Well,
we just know he came down, was antagonistic, and left.
The past hero guy. He would have been connected to him. Yeah. My problem there was when I was getting like the names of all these people, I obviously went, and the pictures, I obviously went on the wiki, right? And the guy who looked like the person, okay, in cursive no less, the guy who looked like the person that we saw in the early episode that was like in the throne room with him on the flying castle, the wiki said hasn't appeared yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy who looks like that guy also, or rather, there's another guy who looks like the guy we saw in that early episode in the throne room with him.
The one messing with the dragons?
No.
Okay. Someone else then.
The guy we saw was an old bearded guy sitting on a throne in the room with this dude. That guy, the anime says we haven't met yet. The guy who says we have already met, that was been from that episode, is a young beardless dude. So, I didn't put it here because confusion. I was fucking confused. That's not the guy that we saw in the episode. So, I just put nothing here. I would leave it blank. And if we eventually figure out what the hell is going on, or meet this guy ever again, so be it.
Well, today's episode is Turning Point 2. Maybe we will.
Who the hell knows what a turning point even means, Griff? Who
I don't know
even knows what it means? I mean, like, turning point last time was a giant set of explosions that caused people to get teleported across the world. Mm-hmm. I told you my first turning point was family meeting or whatever it was, where we find out that Paul was a dirty cheater, who, by the way, marries Lilia, I guess.
I just wish all this magic stuff would get out of the way of her family drama, you know?
By the way, Lilia, I keep forgetting to mention, also voiced by the same voice actress as Murine from Witch from Mercury.
Ooh,
so never remember that the cheating hussy who seduced Paul is also the calm, collected voice of Murine. Well, I even just posted a link earlier today of another one of the Witch from Mercury podcast things. And it's very funny because Lynn is her name in real life, is a very calm and collected person. The more adult of her and Suletta's voice actress, each of these. So it's funny to consider the characters she plays. I think of all the voice actor people, uh, they're the ones I'm most connected to by the roles.
But while we're on that, let's go ahead and talk about what happened last time then. Last episode was The Birth of My Little Sister the Maid, where, while waiting in his cell, Rudeus is met by Sharon's third prince, Zanoba, who idolizes him for making such lifelike sculptures of Rocky and Rudyard, and seeks to become his apprentice. When Rudeus explains that only Pax can undo the seal in his cell, Zanoba promises to resolve the situation. Meanwhile, Pax's guards smuggle Rudyard, Eris, and Aisha into the palace in return for rescuing their families, who are being held hostage by Pax. Zanoba then captures Pax, with Aisha revealing Zanoba is a blessed child who was born with superhuman strength and is known as the Decapitator Prince. Zanoba coerces Pax into freeing Rudeus, while Pax's guards refuse to help the moment they hear their families are safe. Afterwards, Leela and Aisha are arranged to be sent home, and Leela, I'm sorry, Lilia returns Roxy's panties to Rudeus and gives him a necklace Sylphid made for his 10th birthday. Rudeus then gifts his forehead protector to Aisha as a keepsake. As she leaves, Aisha apologizes to Rudeus for calling him a pervert, revealing she knew his true identity all along. Meanwhile, Pax and Sonoba are exiled from the Sharon Kingdom due to the scandal under the guise of studying abroad.
Where the hell are Lilia and Aisha going?
Home.
Well, they can't.
They can.
They can't. Don't you remember Paul's flashback? It's a giant fucking crater. There's nothing there.
Well, someone's got to start rebuilding. I guess the maid can go ahead and start sweeping up ahead of
Rudeus
time.
knows this because Paul told him.
And Paul's goal is to get everyone back together.
No, follow me, Griff. Lilia and Aisha are going home. Rudy is present in the situation. Paul told Rudy there's nothing left. It's all gone. And we saw in Paul flashback, it's a giant fucking crater in the ground. There's nothing home to go back to. So, assuming that the characters aren't fucking stupid, and Rudy isn't gonna do this not doing things again that the Paul accused him of doing when they met, and not telling them what Paul told them, where are they going?
My first impression is that they are making purely rational, informed choices, and that they are going to rejoin with everyone that Paul is saving, because that's the reason Paul is out there in the first place.
No, Paul is still
and he has
questing.
to have saved other people already and sent them back somewhere.
Paul is still questing, and we've already seen those people travel with Paul.
Not all of them.
Yeah, remember there was like a whole fucking room. Not the last time that we saw them at the inn. They were laughing at the innkeeper doing therapy sessions with them.
Meeting that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
That's
No, the first time where they're all in there and they're all with Paul.
I figured that was just the adventuring crew for it.
Paul basically indicated that they were with him. Like, that's why he was finding the kids and everything. And the kids were there.
Well, I guess ultimately we will be seeing them again. That's the important part.
No, the important part is that we're doing a reaction show, so you should probably hypothesize for me for entertainment's sake.
All right. Well, we're getting turning point 2. Those two are on their way home. The same lightning will strike again, and they'll be sent right back to Pax and into the hole and trapped forever again.
Well, in your moment of frivolity, you seem to have forgotten the last statement that you read from last episode. You want to repeat that?
Oh, right, that's right. They've been exiled, so they're going to be sent back to the Sharon Kingdom, trapped into Pax's dungeon, and no one's going to know because no one's going to go there.
It's still inhabited by everyone that lives in that country.
I suppose so, but palaces are big, and that was a very big palace. But yeah. So we have at least the families being collected. That's like the primary goal of the series right now, it seems. And whatever is about to happen next is going to throw a complete wrench into everything. He's not going to find half of his family or village here.
Griff, what happened in the last turning point happened at the very end of the episode. So don't even worry about it until it fucking happens.
Oh gosh.
All
That's right. Everything
about,
leading up to it could be anything.
All I care about right now is where the fuck are they going?
Mhm.
You seem to have written it off, but I'm honestly thinking about the show in a serious
right.
manner, and they can't be going home, and
Right, no, they've already
they can't be heading to Roa because that's not home.
they have, already described they are heading back to Eris's home,
That's Roa.
despite the fact
That
despite the fact
Saurus
that
is
there's
dead.
nothing left, because that is what, rudeus has promised to do, and he told Paul as much.
I don't think
He's
that
at
Roa
least
is.
bringing Eris there, and then they're gonna figure out from
You've
there.
said this multiple times, and I don't think it's correct. You said that Roa is gone, and I don't think Roa is gone. I think the countryside that Paul and family lived in is gone. I
Uh-huh.
think that's the crater. Because also, why would Saurus not have been there? The last place we saw Saurus was in the tower where the lightning was going. Or sorry, the tower of his home in Roa, and then we saw him observe the lightning go off. So if that
Right.
whole place got cratered, he should be there. Instead, we saw him getting executed somewhere, which I believe was Roa.
Right. So we are probably going there, and I guess maybe we'll get an explanation for the execution too then, because like you said, it doesn't quite add up, does it? It seemed like it happened like right outside the walls of it, basically.
What did?
The turning point.
Sorry, you said it
Like,
happened, and we were talking about the execution and the lightning at the same time.
yeah, they just had an execution out in the open field where Rudeus is training. It's
Well, I
fine.
mean, because we saw that happen inside a building, so.
So I guess I'm going to pin that on my hopes and expectations for the episode. We understand what the geopolitics are when we get back home, and then we're going to forget about them again.
Well, no, it's very important. It's always been in the back of my mind, why did Saros get executed? Because it didn't seem like he was responsible for anything. The old dude just liked to fornicate with cat girls, and it seemed like Philip was the one who was like masterminding shit. Well, I don't know. You have to wonder if that the whole getting Rudeus married to Eris was a Soros thing that Philip was trying to do, or if Philip was doing it to his daughter directly. I don't know. It's hard to tell where that comes down from.
Yeah. So I guess I want to see more plotting. I want to see more machinations. I want to see more drama. I am ready to go ahead and see it all go down. But before we go ahead and watch, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all support the channel, just a little bit extra.
Click the link down below, join the Discord, let me know who I might have missed on my big old concept board.
Oh.
That was a dragon for a second.
And Rudyard's dead. And Eris is dead.
唐突にトラックが突っ込んでくることもある。唐突に異世界に転生することもある。唐突に父親に襲いかかられて、お嬢さんの
Your parents beat the crap out of you in the real world?
別の大陸にいきなり飛ば
No, he's talking about when he was sent away to study.
No. He said that before a truck hit him. Yeah, you misunderstood, Griff. He ordered the events. So.
Right, and all the time when he got reborn.
No, he said he. No, Griff. He said you got beaten by your parents. Then he said you got hit by a truck. Are you indicating to me that this fantasy world has a truck?
Beat him up in that world.
No, he said the Paul thing after the getting reborn thing. He said that you got beaten up by your.
He said his siblings beat him up, and then he got hit by a truck.
We haven't met any siblings.
Maybe he doesn't. We haven't really seen him.
Well, anyway, you should have clarified that one before you started arguing after the rebirth thing. Treat you like Stewie treats Lois. Griffin, Baru.
I just noticed.
Danger zone. Archer does the same thing. So this is the other side of the mountain, as it were, right?
I think so, yeah. Those dragons are gonna come back and beat you up. Look out.
I originally thought the old wizened face was actually the eye of a giant dragon, like a white dragon. But turns out it was like a guy wearing Al-Mafani's outfit. It looked like, anyway.
So what are the odds of getting reincarnated into a different world twice?
Not that bad, actually. Shield Hero kind of indicates that there's multiple worlds you can be isekai from and to. In that show, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the only step to do past here is to learn to fight without your weapon, so that when he spears the weapon and thinks he's won, you, like, spin around with the momentum to kick him in the face.
Or something cool like that. I can't possibly see Rudy is keeping up with that.
お前は今日から戦士と名乗っていい。
それって
一人前だ。
でもまだルイゼルドに勝ったことないじゃない。
You're not going to get an extra 700 years of
お前は
experience.
すでに戦士として申し分ない力を持っている。
エリス、おめでとうございます。ルーデウス、夢じゃないかしら。ちょっとつねってみて。つねっても殴りませんか？
Yes.
殴らないわよ。
She will. There it is. I love the spin, I really do.
Again, the thing that gets me is Eris and Rudeus are still family, too.
Also still true.
Although, I don't know, does Japan have the same thing about first cousins?
わかってるな。
はい。
Still, it is nice to see her happy face.
I know, she's like fully accomplished something, got recognized for it all on her own. Like, it's a far cry from like where we started, right?
こんな迂回路じゃなくて上を通って行きましょうよ。私早くあの竜と戦いたいわ。
無茶を言うな。
ルーデウスならいけるわよね。
Do you think this means Richard is going to treat her like an adult now and not a kid?
Maybe.
Because you know how deadly that consequence might be.
I don't think Richard is gonna beat up Eris right now, not this episode.
Yeah, but he might weigh his decisions about what to do about her if she does something as an adult. This is very much a Titanic's going down, quick, dressed like a baby situation. Nod your head at that. That was a fucking joke. You laugh at that, Griff.
七大列強の上位陣ぐらいだろう。
そうなんですね。確か今の序列だと1位が鬼神、2位が竜神。
How do you remember that? We haven't been told that. Tell us first.
2人ともどうしたんですか?
Use your eyes, Rudeus.
Oh, we're doing that, Griff. What do you see?
I see absolutely nothing.
I see a guy in a white coat. Maybe you're blind. Are you white blind, Griff?
That's a loaded question.
See, right there. I didn't see the girl. I guess I'm black blind.
They got a cow, though.
I hear that from a lot of people.
Ominous.
And we've already seen he's gonna kick their ass.
But why? What are you gonna say?
You eyeballing my girl? We know Rudeus is a pervert. I think nobody would blame.
ルーデウス、絶対に動くな。エリスもだ。
I want to see Demon Vision, and there's just like no time in between.
You know it. I was about to say, you know it's bad when Rudyard is scared to move. But then the oxen just lemmings itself off the cliff to get away from this. That's interesting. His future's not known.
お前は知らない顔だな。貴様は何者だ。なぜ俺の名前を知っている。
なんで私の名前も知ってるのよ。
奇妙なところであったが、まあいい。いいの。今の時点では仕方がない。
Is he the guy that was fighting dragons?
Yes.
I don't think it's the same hair color.
なんだお前は。
あ、どうも、ルーデウス・グレイラットです。
グレイラット家のものか。
あ、はい。あ、まずあなたのお名前は？
オルステッドだ。
オルステッド。
The evil eyes from
あの
Harris.
二人とはお知り合いなんですか？
いや、まだ知り合ってはいない。
まだ？どういう意味でしょ
う？お前は知らなくていい。ところで、どこのグレイラット家のものだ？親の
Come on, Philip told you not to say
う？
that.
パウロ・グレイラットです。
Ah, damn it.
Paul is why he's gonna get beat up. That's why.
娘が二人きりのはず。 まあ、なんと失礼な。
What is he, like a fucking admin? How does he know?
He read the script.
Well, because you know he can. The future eye isn't working on him.
それ以上近づくな。お前、目をそらさないな。
あなたの目つきは怖いので、今にもそらしたいところです。
まあいい。それで何の用だ？
あの魔力災害のこととかも何かご存知かなと思いまして。
知らん。
そうですか。呼び止めて申し訳ありませんでした。
お前、人神という単語に聞き覚えはあるか？
あります。
The meta plot.
たまに夢に出てきて。
Why would you just say that out loud?
Yeah, why are you giving away everything? Specifically the shit people told you not to share.
Oh, what do these two know that he doesn't?
人神の人だったか。逃げろ、ルーデス！
Oh, that's cool. So are you saying fighting without your weapon earlier?
Well, yeah,
he
I
also
mean,
does the spin.
this dude's just proving it, though. That's all I'm saying. Also, the girl hasn't moved yet. I think I get why this is a turning point.
Just one shot.
We're meeting the other side, finally. The actual villains. Assume.
まだ荒い。
That's not a good
Yeah, it is
future.
one instant. It was a lie.
No, I think it's like... God. Because this dude knows that Paul should only have 2 kids. And his future is, like, variable.
なんとしろ求める。ファイナル、荒い、トマスビの熱さ。ファイアボール。
Ah, you should have studied more. Valiant attempt.
Oh.
無影小魔術か。それは人神から得た力か。
You just force air into his own lungs?
I think so, yeah.
Disturb magic. You
Oh, that's
jackass.
a level of casting we haven't even seen.
清め
He's fucking Darth Vadering right now.
He just wants to walk away.
No, I mean Rudeus. You know, when
Oh,
Darth
yeah.
Vader's suit and shit stops working, he keeps himself going with the Force. Rudeus is just fucking magicking himself around right now.
Rudeus, what did you just do? Listen to some high-level bullshit.
I mean, he's been building it up since he was a baby. I mean, we've been told before that he can't.
And that'll do it. So this was a good series, don't you think? You know?
I mean, we know he doesn't die.
Are you sure? He's pretty dead there.
He goes to high school or something, but I mean, has Human God? I assume Human God's gotta save him, right? Who else is there? Roxy, maybe? Think Roxy catches up?
Oh, that'd be funny. But no, she's like a whole continent away.
We don't know what time period it is right now. I thought they fucking walked away.
No, they just watched this.
I mean, that's a smart move, right?
Oh gosh, Richard has not moved in like 5 minutes. He might actually be fully dead.
Demon King could walk by. We don't know where the fuck she's at. They keep turning around.
Oh no, we don't get any extra information. Oh, what are they thinking?
I really expected.
Yeah.
Oh, still yourself. I figured if you died as yourself in this world, you would have at least your this body. I've become a heartless. Or a hollow. You're a hollow from Bleach.
お前の名前を聞いた瞬間に襲いかかってきたんだ。
奴は悪い竜神だからね。善良な僕を目の敵にしてるのさ。
Sure, I'd buy that, yeah.
まあ、お前は目の敵にされやすそうだしな。でも、それなら事前に教えてくれてもよかったんじゃないか？あいつに会うってことをさ。
いや、ごめん。今は竜神に関しては見えないんだ。未来も現在も見えない。
See the eye
だか
thing.
ら君が奴と出会うこともわからなかったんだ。
そうなのか？どうして？
奴にはそういう呪いがかかっているからさ。
呪い、そういうのもあるのか。
うん、呪い子って言ってね、変なのがいるんだよ。オルステッドもその一人さ。ま、彼は他にも3つぐらい呪いを持ってるけどね。
It's weird that he's a child and a god.
ほら、ルイジェルドやエリスが怯えていただろう？あれも呪いの一つだよ。この世のあらゆる生物に嫌悪されるか恐怖される。
But you don't
言われ
count.
るのか。そりゃ、なんていうか。
That's why he was like, who are you, right?
嫌だな。
Clearly knew something was
Oh.
wrong with Rudeus, because Paul didn't have a son, too.
Oh, he goes straight to empathizing with them
それ
too.
は君が違う世界から来たからじゃないかな。
異世界人は呪いの影響を受けないのか？
ルイジェルドと出会った時もそうだっただろ
ああ。あれ？ちょっと待て。ルイジェルドもその呪い子ってやつなのか？
う？いや、あれは槍の呪いさ。 ラプラスは恐怖の呪いを槍に移してそれをスペルト族になすりつけたのさ。
Oh, right. I forgot who Lapis was when he mentioned the other guy mentioned him.
どういうことだよ。
Now I
お前
remember.
最初から知ってたのか。無駄だって知ってて俺にルイジェルドを助けろとかって言ったのか。
いやいや勘違いしないでくれよ。スペルト族の呪いはもう消えかけているんだ。ルイジェルト自身にもまだ少し呪いが残っているけど、髪を切ったおかげで急速に薄れつつあるしさ。
Good to know that was worthwhile.
ラプラスの髪も緑だったからさ。
呪いってそういうものなのか。
As long as you look like the person who had the curse, it works.
君に関わったおかげで
No, I think it's because everyone associated it with green hair. Because remember, he got told that before he met Richard as well.
次第でどうにかなるさ。
So the association is making it go away.
ってことか。それならよかった。それにしてもあのルイジェルドが簡単にやられるとは思わなかった。
あいつはルイジェルドじゃ無理だろうね。
何せ七大列強だもんな。どうやったら勝てたんだ。
勝てないよ。彼はね、最強なんだ。いくつもの呪いで制約を受ける身でありながらね。
最強でも竜神って七大列強の2位だよな。1位は
1位は疑心だけど、それでも本気で戦えば勝つのはオルステッドさ。
Again, it's the first time I remember hearing of technique,
こ
God.
の世界だって滅ぼせる。
Maybe except for that one where they were leaving the village where he got arrested in. I think he listed them once there too, and I just don't remember technique.
お前さ、あいつのこと見えないくせにえらくよく知ってんだな。まあいいさ。お前が何を隠していても俺は気にしないよ。ルイジェルドのことは好意っぽいし、この間もお前のおかげでリーリャとアイシャを助け出せた。それを鑑みれば多少嘘をつかれたところで気にもならんよ。これで会うのも最後だ。
Alright, at least pragmatic.
ああ、最後さ。だってそうだろ。俺は死んだんだから。
なるほど。それで自暴自棄になっているのか。最初の時とは真逆だね。
あの時は何が何だかわからないまま死んだと思ったからな。今回はまあしょうがない。
Yeah, I guess there's a little bit of easement once you know everything that's been going on.
触れただけでも幸運だと思わなきゃだよな。いろいろとまだやり残したことはあるが。
This is all fairly reasonable.
ああ、そうだな。と、そろそろお別れらしいな。こういう時ってどういう感じで
I
いけ
mean,
ばいいんだろう。
you gotta know that something's up when God's confused at what you're talking about.
じゃあ君に朗報だ。
あ？
君、死んでないよ。
え？
Ah, he did interfere.
ルーデウス
No. She was alive. He taught her magic. Badly, but she taught her magic.
What a time to pass out and come back, huh?
大丈夫。なんで生きてる。さっきのあの女が何か言ってて、あのオルステッドとかいうのが治癒魔術。
Okay, I guess I gave her too much credit.
言われてた。
七星。あの仮面の女のことか。
なんで殺した相手をわざわざ。
大丈夫よ。気絶してるだけだって。
そうですか。
Alright. He's fine.
I guess Eris got over the fear too, because he evidently talked to them.
ルーデウス、ずいぶんと元気ね。
なんかね、いろんなものが有り余ってる感じがするんですよ。
Mostly blood now that it's all back.
叩いても大丈夫なの。
いいですとも。
The adrenaline's wearing off. We almost fucking died.
That's their absolute worst moment.
本当よ。よかった。
And that's the whole episode.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That went by so fast. I guess maybe because I was so flippant during the beginning to making jokes and shit. That the
And that
moment
was
we
the whole
obviously,
turning point.
yeah, the moment we obviously met the guy who was going to kill them, it was like just a speed run of understanding what was happening.
The fight was basically a speed run.
Well, I mean, obviously, I thought the girl could have done something there. Because the fact he, like, walked 2 steps, turned to look back at them, walked 2 steps, turned to look back at them, and then the final time, he stops and talks to her. And it's like, okay, well, he's at least doing the smart thing, right? Of verifying that your enemy is dead. Right? How many times do you stab somebody and they fucking get up later and come back at you?
I mean, his first assumption was like, oh, he's gonna heal himself, right?
Well, I think we covered that. Previous commenter pointed out that, remember, it was the scene where Eris beat the shit out of him, and because he thought he could take Richard, and to prove that he could, he fought Eris, and she beats the shit out of him, and he goes back to the room all busted up in the face.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned why didn't he use healing magic, and a commenter pointed out he couldn't speak.
Yeah.
So he still needs incantations to do healing magic for some reason. I don't know if that's been covered yet or not, but...
Yeah. I guess maybe it has something to do with, like, the way he internalizes it. Like, I guess it's easier to, like, picture, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna make a bowl of water and then do something with it. But, like, how does the healing magic work? There's not really a good analog for that in reality, right?
Sure, there is sewing.
Is it? Because
trying to think, if you cut yourself open, yourself open, Griff, what's the common terminology for when you put that back together? Yeah, I think you call
that what's happening? Is that the metaphor they use in the world?
I think you call that stitching a wound.
I don't think he had first aid training. That's what I'm gonna say.
All you said is what's the visual there, and I'm saying that's an easy. Also, you don't need their metaphor. He's from our world. He should use our metaphor, which is what's it called, Griff? We call it.
I don't think he did a lot of sewing either.
We don't know. He was a homebody. Not a homebody. He was a hikikomori.
Yeah.
So I mean, he might have been. You know, he doesn't have a lot of money to go on there because it's whatever, right? So
look, we've seen his life. There wasn't a sewing machine there.
Well, you don't need a sewing machine. All you need is like a sewing kit with those little plastic numbers with like thread and needle.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying it was cheaper, right? You don't have a lot of money to spend just to sew your pants together rather than buying new ones.
So, Theta, this is our second turning point, and now I have to ask, what are the turning points? What's your theory?
Well, it's just a major... I don't know.
2 points, we can make a line.
I'm reminded of the Harmon quest. Like episode 1 or 2. I think it was the first episode of Harmon Quest, where the guy who's playing the rogue wants to run, or he spent the entire fight running around the thing so that he can come at them from behind. And he says, are the two guys, are they like standing in a line? And the GM just goes, any 2 points is a line. And everyone laughs and he gets a little frustrated for a moment. Like a smart ass.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, I think family meeting was a turning point. And the definition I use for that is something that changes the status quo of the show to its fundamental level. And in that, we get that Paul isn't a hero that we all think he is. He's just another guy. And for Rudeus, that is that's a base level change of the worldview. That your dad isn't a hero. So,
but for these two events, Griff, what do we relate?
Yeah, I know,
between
Griff. You're trying to segue me out of this thought process. It's not helping me get to my point. Sorry, head itch. That's my talking hand. It's my talking hand. Something you don't hear very often, except for, I guess, Mick Foley and the voice of Mankind when he's wearing a sock puppet. That's what you get, Griff. My mind goes tangential when you get me off subject. You know what? Fuck it. I've lost it. I had a good point.
Okay.
You've ruined it. Go ahead, give me what your thought is.
All right, so my theory is that we just got dropped a bunch of information about curses. The lightning blast was probably a part of a curse, or like the getting rid of one is going to be my guess. So turning point 2 here is the reveal that this is what Rudeus is really here for, why he's being like manipulated or like being put down this path. It is, in fact, to deal with these things, because the first thing he does as soon as he hears that Orston is cursed and nobody likes him is to go, man, that sucks. I know exactly how that is, and I'm the one person who doesn't hate him.
That could just be from his original life. Doesn't have to do anything with his current life.
Right, exactly. I mean, he automatically sympathizes. I feel like he wants to solve the problem, even if it is outside of his field of knowledge and expertise.
You connected those two dots together as though his current life had something to do with the reason why he would be connected to Orston because of his curse. Yeah. I'm saying, no, that sounds more like something to do with his original life, that he sympathizes, once again, like he always does, like kind of playing that card real hard, that his original life, he felt cursed in that very same way. That has nothing really to do with his current predicament with human God and everything. Or at least it doesn't tie those two together as directly as you seem to indicate.
Well, I mean, I think the human God went ahead and put it out directly. His actions have relieved some of the curse on Rugerd, who was still suffering from it in some way. He's made the situation better already.
Right, what does that have to do with
whether
the
or not
other
he can
thing?
deal with lightning bolts is going to be a different one.
Well, no, I'm talking about your connection from Rudeus to Orgid. I mean, Richard's curse lightning thing has nothing to do with those two's connection.
Maybe I'm not getting the full read of my thought out there, but
I don't think you are. So let me lean back to a previous thought you were having. What curse do you think the lightning cured?
I think Laplace, who is supposedly the hero up there, right? That's who they're talking about.
Laplace was the original Spurred who gave them all, spears? I'm going to say stabby instruments. He gave them all spears and drove them all crazy, which caused the curse to happen in the first place. I don't recall, and I don't think because I don't recall, that Laplace was the guy in the sky who has the castle that Aphamane or whatever his name was. The guy I had unconnected on my concept board.
So we'll go ahead and say hero then. So the hero is also cursed in whatever this mana surge event thing was.
My only problem with that,
that's why he's moved himself to this castle where he's not going to hurt other people.
My only problem with that, Griff, is that happened on sky level, and we certainly saw his castle floats above the clouds. So the lightning wouldn't have affected him.
I feel like there's obviously a connection between the castle comes here, the disaster followed soon after, and then someone went down to the ground to do some investigation or something.
Because the connection there, Griff, sounds to me like he's the cause of the thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, you said it was to cure the curse. I'm saying that it doesn't cure him if he's causing a thing. That's like saying I have a gun that shoots randomly, and I walked into a room and someone got shot. I didn't cure the gun of the curse it has. I shot a guy. I'm the cause of the thing.
I feel like you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm saying Griff, he is cursed.
Griff, just because I disagree with the thing that you said doesn't mean I misinterpret it. You can say things wrong, and I point it out every time. So if
I thought I was always right.
That's what all the commenters think too. Doesn't make them right either. So
still,
I think your insinuation is wrong because I don't think he's cured from a thing because it went off.
I don't know either, but that's still, I'm going to say curses are the turning point. Changes in the curse or the way Rudeus views them is in fact the turning point.
I mean,
Rudeus is building up a desire to solve these problems.
I don't agree, only because the only way I see that working, the only way I see that you being right would be his view of curses, in which case that is such a flimsy way to title turning points that I don't want that to be the case. Otherwise, nothing else has actually changed in that sentence that you just said for that to be true, because all he did was witness a thing, nothing actually changed curse-wise. I think this is just a knowledge thing.
We got 2 points. I made the best line I could. It might be a bit squiggly, but it's still probably not going to be accurate.
Hey, at least I only interrupted you at the end of your fucking point. You screwed me up so much I can only remember I was talking about family meeting.
So anything else you want to go over here real quick then?
No.
Alright, in that case, let's just go ahead and wrap up for the day. This has been Some Face Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around.